you probably feel the same as I do, is when you look at someone's creative project, you might wonder, well, exactly what part did they play in the development of that project? Right? You look at the visuals and you say, well, did they do the 3D part? Did they do the graphics? They just worked on some of that pattern in the background. Sometimes it can be confusing. Well, I wanted to share a little bit about a project that I worked on, and I think it'll give a better idea as to the type of work that I do and the type of solutions that I provide. And you may be surprised that even though I've been working in the field of branding for almost 20 years, I consider myself to be more of a problem solver of complex business problems. And here's an example of that. So this happened fairly recently. I was doing work for a company called Fuse, and as a holder of the official license for Harley-Davidson officially licensed accessories, they ran into a problem, which is that their product development kind of became stagnant, and Harley-Davidson was no longer impressed with the work that they were doing and the products that they were putting out. I was working as a creative director at a sister company of theirs at the time, and I was managing a small team of creatives, and I was working mostly in the marketing domain. It's a different department. But I saw, after speaking with some of the team, that they were having a really hard time creating something that would give some excitement back to the products that they were creating, and to impress Harley-Davidson. They just couldn't do it. Harley-Davidson was threatening to pull the license from them because, well, naturally, because if a bad impression is being given out because of poor product development and design, then that damages the brand. I created some concepts just quickly after that to kind of showcase the vision that I had. Now, no one asked me to do that. I thought, this is something that I think I can help to solve. And so after making some sketches of some ideas and jotting down some of the vision that I had for this new direction, I had a meeting with the CEO of the company, and I said, okay, let's fight for this. Let's try a different vision. Let's try some new ideas, and let's shoot for a Hail Mary. Let's do a Hail Mary pass, and it's better than just having the license pulled. So it was a fairly audacious goal, but as creatives, sometimes that's what it requires. It requires a little bit of audacity from us to be able to break barriers and shatter the existing limits. So after speaking with the CEO, after explaining and showing some of the ideas that I had and talking about the new vision that I had, he said it became apparent that I needed to take the lead in the product development for this project. And so I was appointed the head of product development for the Harley-Davidson project. I was excited, but at the same time surprised, because I'm not necessarily a product development guy. At least I never considered myself to be someone who worked in that. So from creative director in the marketing department, I was now also product development lead for this multi-million-dollar project for an internationally recognized major brand. And there was some who doubted whether I could do the job, and they expressed their concerns to me. They thought it was a bad idea to get someone who wasn't a product development person or expert to take over the project and to, provide a different perspective. And that's understandable to a certain point. But at the same time, you keep doing the same thing over and over, you're just going to get the same results. It was perfectly clear in my mind that that had already been tried to no avail. Something had to change, and I was the person to change it. And just to clarify, this wasn't just product design. It wasn't just to create some visuals and some mock-ups and things like that. No, this was going to be product development. This was going to be for products that were going to be manufactured and distributed throughout the hundreds of official Harley-Davidson dealers globally. So after discussing with the 3D product development person that was in-house and getting my bearings on some of the things that I needed to know about parts of the product development process that I needed some refreshing on, then we started to work on clarifying what needed to be done in order to make the project a success. And what success looked like at that time was saving the contract, making sure Harley-Davidson was impressed with the new vision, and having them extend the contract. Now, me being me, it wasn't enough for me to just fulfill that objective. I had to take a step back and say, well, what is Harley-Davidson trying to do as a larger objective? Can I help to accomplish multiple objectives at the same time? Or at least help to support a larger objective while accomplishing the objective for this specific project? And so I started to think about the problem that Harley-Davidson was having at the time, which is how to adapt to a demographic that is aging, that is changing in their priorities and in their spending, and how to attract a younger demographic that has purportedly different values, different communication styles, and different buying preferences. So after doing some research, I saw that there were ways that I could tackle both things. Tackle the immediate challenge of preserving the license for the company, while at the same time solving this complex problem of onboarding a new demographic to Harley-Davidson while preserving the spirit of the brand and its heritage. Essentially, it's brand equity. So I wasn't going to just make a cool product line, because that was part of the objective. It wasn't just make a product, it was make an entire product line. But how can I do that while at the same time solving a pressing problem that Harley-Davidson has of onboarding a younger demographic while transferring the spirit of the brand along with its heritage, when that new audience of younger riders speaks a different language in the sense of materials, patterns, colors. So like I normally do, I ran a brand plan. I did some brand strategy to figure out what needed to be done. What does the landscape look like? What type of business variables do I need to consider? I requested some information from Harley-Davidson to get some feedback on some of the data they had on their demographics, on the needs that they had. And with that, I created a type of mood board that showcased the vision that I had, not just a creative vision, but a strategic vision that I could show Harley-Davidson and show them how this new vision, this new approach would be able to tackle the existing problem, but also tackle a higher level problem. And this included doing some research on how the language would have to change. Would this new demographic, this younger demographic, react the same way to leather and metal and loud exhausts as the previous demographic did? So this led to some interesting insights on the choosing of the right materials in order to communicate the right ideas, the right messages. I then started to work on the brand architecture to see what needed to be done in order to increase the engagement of this new demographic from one place to the next. So I essentially was going to use this new product line as a tool to be able to help onboard this new generation of writers at every step necessary to increase the engagement with the brand. So from this, I created sub-brands of accessory products, one for each of the steps of engagement necessary. Each step represented an increase in the engagement with the Harley-Davidson brand, with the goal of each engagement scaffolding and leading to the next level of engagement. And the products would match this engagement, increasing in style, quality, materials, and durability. So once it was clear how the architecture of the brand would work to take users from one level of engagement to the next, it became time to start to develop the product roadmap and also some concept sketches so that we can start to flesh out what this entire line would be and what the new vision would look like when it's all complete. So working closely with the in-house 3D product designer, we built out 100 products, some of them custom made and custom branded, in order to accomplish these multiple goals. A new vision for the officially branded Harley-Davidson accessories, and also bolstering their efforts for onboarding newer, younger riders. Long story short, Harley-Davidson was impressed, the contract was saved, and I was glad to have received a special invitation to the exclusive dealers-only Harley-Davidson event. So this cross-departmental collaboration was one where essentially I was appointed to be head of a different department and provide a new vision that would bring new life to not just that department, but to the brand we were working with, Harley-Davidson, and to the company itself, essentially saving one of the largest deals that company had. That's what I did. I solve complex business problems. Sometimes I utilize tools like branding, brand development, brand strategy, sometimes just creative thinking, design thinking, but creative problem solving overall. This is just a little bit about what I can do. Give me a follow for more content, and I'll see you on the next video.